What's up? What's up? How y'all doing?
Thank you,
This
fans.
is all like 8 of you.
Like, I need a. I feel like I need an opening line on this thing. I'll try to think of one.
Oh what?
Opening line whenever
What you
we
need?
introduce
Oh.
ourselves.
No, like what you want your own calling card? Is
No,
that what you
not
like?
really.
Elton in the hizzy or something like that. Hey, you can go man, look. I saw two things today that reminded me how old I'm getting. All right. The first one, all right, do you remember Pimp My Ride and all that stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
West Coast Customs, right? So, on there, the owner of the shop, his son used to run around, the little kid, right, running around in the background. I was looking at YouTube and it had this thing where he is getting his wide body to Model 3 wrap like done by the shop. Like they have like a
Hmm.
YouTube channel, right?
Oh,
Where
dang.
they just post like
Yeah,
yeah, so I'm like looking, I'm like, dude, this grown ass kid. I'm like, wow, I'm old as shit, right?
that's definitely gonna make you feel old.
Right. And then I saw another thing. T Pain was doing a reaction to was it he was doing a reaction to uh LO Cool J I'm bad, right? So he just it brought tears to my eye because he was just laughing at how ridiculous everything was in the video. And no, and the fact that like I remember this time period and how like cool everything was like this was cool, right?
Hmm.
And, and looking at the eyes of someone your age, it's like oh, it's not that cool. No,
What?
no,
How
nah.
long ago was
I
that
mean, it was cool
song?
at the time. Tracksuits and
Is that the 80s?
1987.
Oh wow,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. See, from my point of view, that's not that damn long ago. But for you, it's like, man, I was 2 years old or some shit like that, right?
I wasn't born. I was not even conceived yet.
Right. So this like ancient times, it's like, oh, dude, I'm so old. It's like, it's like, all right, okay. We have put it off for a couple of minutes. So, what is your less than a sentence synopsis of what you observed in with Ahsoka this week?
Um, Balin is cool.
Did it give you a headache like it gave me?
No, it didn't.
It did.
It didn't. There were some
No.
parts that were definitely boring.
Hmm.
The beginning part,
Yes.
I didn't really see what was going on over there.
Okay.
I thought overall it was okay. I liked it. I actually liked it. Fighting sequences are
Hey, well,
still not engaging, still not really
no,
cool though. No.
no.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get this over with. I, no, I titled the show "Ahsoka is almost over." Oh,
The
all right.
enthusiasm is beaming.
Okay. Yes, the enthusiasm is very beaming. So the show starts off with this lovely court martial scene. Um, the all right. So this dude, wow. All right. I listened to a bunch of people talk about this, and what she did was wrong. Right? They, regardless of how stupid it was that they didn't let her go pursue this, they did vote
Hmm.
and all that stuff. Right? So to have this guy like he's justified in being annoyed, but they're all stupid. Right?
That's what I was getting to.
Yeah, it's like you can be annoyed by this particular thing and her and her acting like she just like didn't do like his bidding when it was everybody up there was stupid. It's like, okay, like like I don't, you're making this personal. What was interesting about when I watched this, and I'm trying if I can all right, do you remember when Mon Mothma in the original says many Bothans died to get these plans, right?
Oh, okay. Mhm.
Right. So what she was talking about is a species of aliens that um, they were the ones who got like in the original universe, they're the ones who got the plans for the Death Star. All right. So they completely ignored all that when they made Rogue One. While I enjoyed Rogue One, it wasn't the story, the original story that George Lucas came up with. So their species is kind of like sneaky backstabbing folks who look um like if you mixed a rat and a raccoon. All right. No, they look like raccoons, but kind of like, like beady eyed kind of look. All right. And they basically are they have a lot of infighting in terms of how they're super suspicious of basically everything, and so that they have a good spy network because they are spying on people. So he kind of reminded me of one of the characters in there that was a kind of a foil for Leia Organa Solo when she became when she became basically Mon Mothma, right? So he was always doing like sneaky underhanded stuff to get more power from her, and that kind
Nice.
of reminded me of him where it's like he seems to have some kind of angle. Dave Filoni has given, since we don't know anything about him, we don't know like what he's up to, so he just comes across as very stupid.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, there's
you
no backstory. Yeah, he just seems yeah, you're right. The way he's written into the story.
hmm?
The way he is written into the story, he does
Right,
come
and
across
it's
as,
like
like, stupid and a little bit annoying too.
right. So I think Dave Filoni writes his stuff like you watched all the Rebels. Like I was like you were just so blown away by Rebels and the Clone Wars. You have no, you kind of know the history. So I don't know. Maybe he's a character in the Clone Wars, so you would know who he is. But if you don't, it's like what's wrong with this dude?
Exactly.
Yeah, because he's yelling about like no evidence and none of that stuff. I'm like,
Those are my sentiments too.
yeah, like what more evidence did you require, dude? Did you want like them to come back from the other galaxy and tell you personally what their plans are? There's enough evidence to be for you to be a little suspicious of what's going on. And but giving the incompetence of our personal government, they're like, all right, so I guess every government is run by idiots. So it just this is
It's a reflection of our own society.
pretty much. So there's a consensus that this right here is Akbar.
Oh, consensus by
I've heard a few people online when it like the few people who are talking about this, they're kind of like that probably that given the time
the time period, right?
period and
Yeah.
what his position in the government would have been, right, then that would
True,
be
true,
Admiral Akbar. He doesn't say
true.
anything. Right. He doesn't say anything. They don't actually acknowledge him, which is weird. So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. What's also crazy is the first episode, this was mostly women. It's like where all the women go. So like, all right. So he continued with his nonsense. She is kind of tolerating it, and but he has a point. You disobey the wishes of the council, and and she should be court-martialed. And then, as he's looking all frustrated, she's concerned, and then there's a ruckus, and guess who shows up?
Wow,
Oh yeah,
he's here.
oh, you remember this? Hey, look, it's C3PO, and they say some bull crap about Leia Organa gave her permission for this mission, And everyone there is like, this is BS, but there's nothing that the dude can do about it because she's in charge of the military. So even though she disobeyed orders, she had a reason to disobey orders because they were stupid, but she still disobeyed orders. All
Yeah,
right.
right.
So
Mhm.
this, yeah, so Mon Mothma basically going, yeah, this is bullshit. We both know this is bullshit.
Exactly.
I'm gonna let it go because reasons. You know, I'm the head of the state, and therefore I shouldn't be playing favors with people that will come across as not too good, considering how the last person who was in basically in your position did that exact same thing. So it's not a good look that you're emulating Palpatine, regardless of how you're doing it very nicely. All right. So now we went to Space Wells, and when I saw this, one, she looks very bad. She's all over, I think she's like 50 or high 40s, and she's moving at a pace of all of her years. Very
For
slowly.
for Rosario Dawson, she's really she's really trying.
Yeah, she's trying. It looked like they gave her no training, but she's doing her thing. When I saw this, the first thing, all right, what was the first thing that popped into your head when you saw
I
this?
thought it was pretty cool. Or I thought it was a nice little
Okay.
support message from Anakin, how he's like,
Hmm.
training her this way, and then he said that there was like 20 more hologram recordings.
Hmm.
So I wonder what else like he might have talked about in those things.
Hmm.
I thought it was a nice little message from him and training.
Yeah. The first thing that popped into my head is, did you give a copy of this to his children? One of which is trying to construct a Jedi Academy. You have, which is probably the last Jedi training robot in your possession, and you have not given that to him. So I'm assuming that you did not give him copies of his non mutilated and non crazy father.
That's a
Did
good
you give
point.
it to his? Yeah. Did you give copies to his daughter? I don't know.
uh,
She keeps them in a box, so it's looking like probably not. So I was like, all right. But it was, yes, I thought it was very cool. It was a nice little like Easter egg kind of thing.
right. I like the
And
little
she
homage, when he mentioned Grievous, Count Dooku,
the little what? Yeah.
when he mentioned those people.
Hmm.
I thought that was
Yeah.
nice little
Yeah.
like yeah, Easter egg, I guess. And
I,
is
yeah, it's
Asajj
a nice
Ventress, is
touch.
that her name?
Uh Ventress?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that was cool that you mentioned those people. And he
Yeah.
said like, "Oh,
So
you're
it
not
was,
just gonna see droids on the battlefield." So it's like, okay,
yes.
it sounds a little bit more like things are at stake and it'll be a
Hmm.
harder fight than she might think.
Hmm. So, all right. So this point is like she goes up to the front, she's all happy, and Wai Yang, right?
Hu Yang.
Right? Close enough.
Hu
Am I in the
Yang.
ballpark? Wu Yang. All right, okay. I was off
One of
by
these
all right,
days
I was off
you'll
by
get it.
one no, I was off by like my vowels were off. All right. All right. So he brings up to the fact that we have no idea where these whales are actually going.
Right.
And she's
This
like,
is this is
it'll be
not my
fine.
this is
He's
not my
like,
favorite part of the episode. They're
he's
kind of
like,
just like
no, no.
going around in space and just casually strolling around.
He's like, right. Like, nah, bruh, it's not gonna be fine, man. We have no idea where these damn things are going.
Yeah,
It's
and
like you
then
talk to one of them, he didn't really what, did he say anything to you? Did he tell you where he was going? He just opened up his mouth. It's like
Oh,
we out. You want to
yeah,
come too? Like, I don't care.
you're dropping here, boys.
It's like fine. And the robot is like, okay. And she's like, right. No. All right. So talkie. All right. Then he says something about the we're slowing down. How he knows that, I don't know. You
I
are a
guess they can
completely
feel it.
separate entity. Right, but how does the wells even like the wells can go hyperspace? I don't know how that works, but how can you even? I see. This is the thing about the sensors for this, like this show in general, is like they work and then they don't work. So their sensors he can detect
Your speed.
like like that they're slowing down in hyperspace, but later on stuff happens where it's like, bro, like how do your sensors work? Because it don't make any sense. Okay, so giant explosion outside. The whale is making many noises. Then you find out once you go out, once you leave the whale, that there are mines every place. Once again, the folks at Star Wars have no idea how space works. Like, okay, uh, one, and I've been, and this is for me, like in each episode is more of commenting on the story aspect of this, like because the story elements to me they don't make any sense. It's like they left all these mines out, and they okay, so how do they work? It's like are they drawn to things that move, like movement hits, and then they're drawn to the wells. It's like okay, but space is not empty. There's always dust and rocks and everything floating into space.
True.
So if one explodes, does that create a blow up like the next one? So it was just kind of weird to me. It was like that sounds like a thing someone would like. All right, that sounds cool. Let's just go with it. I'm like, it doesn't really make sense to me because the solar system is moving and everything is moving and it's gravity is a lot of stuff. But I am over analyzing, which
My
I probably do.
thinking my thinking is like their motion sensor bombs. I don't know.
Mhm.
Or mines. Yeah. So
I
if
think,
so
but
I guess in this universe space is statics, and then if something
okay.
we'll just say that. And then if something passes by, like movement, I
Uh-huh.
guess it will explode. I don't know. Or if it touches it, makes contact.
Right. All right. So the only problem with that is
We're assuming
they
space
mention
is
later
static.
that they're also attracted they're magnetic. So like okay, so their motion censored magnetic sensing like okay, they're flying through all of this and they decide after they like the whales dip out, they see the ring and they go inside of these rings. And as we was established the last episode, these are whale bones. I didn't see any rocks or anything like that.
They're just
So
all
it's like, all right,
hanging out there.
they get attacked. Somehow don't get hit by nothing. It's just like Thrawn's pilots suck. Or well, not Thrawn. I think they came from
The
the
witches.
giant ring. So
Oh.
right. So her pilots suck. So like whoever these people, somebody sucks. So they can't hit her because she's not really doing that great of maneuvers. So she goes ducks into the whalebone thing. As I'm looking at it, I'm like, how did they're in space? How did these whales decompose to the point where they're just bones?
I guess all over a matter of a few minutes.
Well, I mean, like if they were bodies, I'm like, okay, it'd be kind of weird if they were like just floating there, but the flesh is gone. That would prob I don't I'm not an expert on space, but I would think that that would not happen.
A good
So it's
question.
like, okay, all right. So it's just like I'm putting way too much. I know, and I know that I'm putting way too much thought into this, but it's just like, bruh, it's you. There's elements of a cool story here. It's just the dude is incompetent to the point where it's just like, right, okay, and this is what like I was saying that it gave me a headache because like my brain is thinking like, all right, that don't make any sense. Well, okay, that don't make any sense. It's like, but that don't make any sense. And it was like so on and so on and so on to the point was like it's hurting my head. So it's like, all right, Thrawn comes up and it's like, well, they are going into the ring kind of thing. So we need to find them. And they get the Night Sisters. It's like when they get the Night Sisters. So she's hiding out. Oh, as she's hiding out, and they just gonna sit there, I guess. Oh, like okay, it's like if they're scanning space, and this is when I get back to the how their sensors work. This entire ring is well bones. They're in a metal ship, so they should be able to pinpoint the metal ship in there, unless the wells are made out of metal. I don't know. I have no idea what the space wells are made out of, so maybe they're made out of metal material.
How convenient.
Yeah. So now the Krusty Krab crew is slowly moving their houses across the like the little plane very slowly.
Yeah, very slow.
Now, yeah, it was like walking slowly. So Ezra and Sabine are having a conversation. Apparently, he still has not found out why she's here, like how would she get here, why she's here, and what's going on. And every time he asks her, she goes, "It's complicated." Well, how's Ahsoka? Is complicated. Okay. How are we gonna get home?
It's complicated.
It's complicated. Like, okay, I've been stranded here for 10 years. Try not to try to uncomplicate some of this.
Please explain some things for me.
Yeah, like something. It's just give me something. But he's like, it'll be fine, I guess. All right. So they finish this pointless conversation, which doesn't get anywhere. And
That's
he's
how
just
I felt like when I was watching.
yeah, he seemed to just like
Yeah,
whatever,
there's a lot of filler
dude.
dialogue.
It's like, okay.
Uh,
The last episode. Yeah. The last episode. All right, the last episode. When these two were riding their little ponies, dog ponies, across the plane, and these dudes were sitting up and watching them. I'm like, okay, so because we don't know anything about none of these guys. Hell, we don't even know anything about these two either. So we damn sure don't know about who these people are, except that they're dressed like weird samurais. I'm like, okay, so the weird samurai dudes.
I can't get that out of my
Uh,
mind now. Oh, great.
so they're watching the Krusty Krabs. I guess they're down there, and it's like so how did these hook up with this? So was it like an episode in the middle that somebody wrote and just like you got to show like something? They're not very good at telling anything about anything. Don't know where he got her from. Don't know what his motivations is. Don't know anything about that. Don't know who these are. They from the planet? Are the Krusty Krab folks from the planet? Like what? Like tell me something. You got to tell me like something.
That's what I miss about the old Star Wars, the world
Mhm.
building.
Yes.
Yeah, they yeah, definitely don't have that in this series.
Like none. It's like
Yeah. There's like no exposition to explain.
okay, y'all chilling
Yeah.
in what looks like Ireland. So all right. So now we got the little sisters. They're using the little balls to triangulate where Ahsoka is. Why they can't scan for the metal ship amongst the bones? You got me. All right.
Are they the
So
sisters or the Night Mothers? Oh, I forgot what their titles are.
I don't know, and I'm
or Night
it
Witches?
is it's night something. I think well, I think he did call them night
Sisters?
mothers.
Oh, Night
No,
Mothers, yeah.
I think he did call them that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, dude, like what the hell, right? So, Wu Yang, close enough. Uh, he scans for Sabine. I don't know what he's scanning for. Is he scanning for her? It's like, is he scanning for her clothes? For her species? What is he scanning for? Is he sending out signals for her to pick up? Which it's like, okay. And by doing that, how come the ring doesn't pick them up? Remember, when they first came across the ring, it picked them up coming out of hyperspace, right?
Mhm.
So this same thing that picked them coming out of hyperspace, generating zero signal except for them coming out of hyperspace, was able to pinpoint where they're at to the well enough so that they can send fighters to attack them, but cannot find a metal ship in a sea of whalebones. It's like, okay, there you go, Dave Filoni. So
Oh,
nothing
that's
happens
true.
until she decides to yeah. So until she decides to use her Jedi tricks to locate Sabine because he can't find her. So the little woo 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 thing happened, and she can hear it. And this is, I'm like, okay. So regular people, can Jedi communicate with regular people? That's what my question was. Or are they like, hey, she's force sensitive, even though the robot says that she's not and she can't move anything?
It
So what do you think? Which
I think
one?
it's the latter. I think they're trying to make it seem like that she's force sensitive. That's why they were
Mhm.
trying to, Ahsoka was trying to communicate with her that way. But then the thing that I didn't really like, because at least from what I remember, like in the older movies, in like
Mhm.
in the sequel trilogy, wasn't it like even if you can't use the force, like you could still, you know, kind of communicate with them? It seems like Ahsoka tried talking to her, but then she, like in the show, Sabine like did not have any
Well,
acknowledgement of
mhm,
going the other
mhm,
way back to Ahsoka. It was like a one-way
right.
street.
All right. Keep in mind that when in the original trilogy,
Hmm.
the only people who were able to communicate or sense where people were at were Leia, Obi Wan
Hmm.
Kenobi,
Hmm.
and Luke. Like the reason why
Okay.
Leia
Yeah.
could do it,
Yeah.
and you remember how confused my man Lando Calrissian was. Like, what are you talking about? We got to go underneath the thing. Like, what?
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
what are you talking about? It's like I sense him. It's now if they would have left it at that, it's like okay, but at that point we know that she is uh his so she is his sister. So it's like, so I don't know. Sometimes I think they rewrite, like, and this is why you got to be careful about how when you write stuff, because you have a you have what I'm trying to look for. You have a desire to add stuff to things.
Yeah.
Like
And you
when
kind of retcon stuff if you do it like that.
right.
Yeah.
So like when R2D2 in the prequels has jetpacks on his, like, built into his body, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, that's cool. And it would have been
Right.
cool. But it's like, did they take them out? And why would they take them out?
And why would they take them out? That's true.
Yeah, you just making
Yeah.
him less efficient from when he gets stuck on Dagobah and he can't move around.
That's a good question to ask.
Here
Yeah.
comes in. But yeah, it's like, well, it's like, yes, that's a cool idea, but does it fit with the story?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So how they could have done this was to show hints of her being force sensitive earlier in the series. You know, like
Oh, okay, yeah. The
yeah, just like
cuffing, right?
yeah, something
Yeah.
to give an indication. Like, all right, when she tried to move the cup, she could have got frustrated and like take her hand away and close her eyes as she did it. And you could have like shoot like if you would have had her eyes closed, then you could have shown the cup move a little bit, right?
Mhm.
So she probably wouldn't have seen that. And if it just moved, like if you had the camera next to it, where it just moved a little bit, then then you would have been like, oh, okay, like what's going on? Did she move it? Right? And then you just throw hints here and there. You know.
I think that's
Then
what
when
they
this,
tried doing at the beginning, and, like, those earlier episodes and scenes.
mhm,
Yeah, trying to make it seem like she's, force
right,
sensitive.
but you got to actually show something. You can't just like have like Ahsoka just I'm just gonna train you and just no indication. So it's just like
Mm, yeah.
okay, yeah, there are ways of yeah, there are ways of doing this per story how you can like get your point across. Just like when I was telling you about last week with Blonde. Like if he would have had an entire army of like new ships, like the red dudes, if you would have shown that they were part of his army, then you was like, okay, this dude came to this place, has one ship, now he's an entire fleet of ships.
Got it, yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah, that's you don't gotta say that he's formidable. That would actually show that,
That would
oh,
show it,
like
yeah.
he's formidable. No.
The
So,
problem with
all
these
right,
shows,
so
they always tell but not but never show.
right. So it's like sometimes you kind of wonder if it's the budget or something like that, but I don't know.
Bad writing.
So yeah, well, it's the writing. And so because she did that, Sabine finds her, then they open fire because they have triangulated where she is. They open fire with these giant blasters and hit the spot where she used to be, but somehow misses the ship. Okay. And did they stop firing? I don't remember. He like yeah, I think they stopped firing and he told them to let them like no to send out fighters and let them go to
Alright,
the
yeah.
thing,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is which is stupid. It's just, it's like why that would solve your problem. It's like unless people shooting at this thing are just very bad, and given how this episode goes, yeah, it's just very
They were
bad.
very bad.
Right. So then you got the floating flotilla of Krusty Krab folks right here, and like okay, they send the dudes out. Oh, this is when all right, what is it? Bu Yang tells his apprentice that we done. It's like deuces, I'm just gonna chill up here. You can go do your thing and become part of the empire and all that funny stuff. And tells her to not be so impatient because that will lead to you losing. And she looks as confused at him as I was at looking at this scene. Like,
I thought that was a nice quote, though.
like,
I did like that quote.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, it was, but it still was confusing, at least to me. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what? Like, okay, so
Im Impatience for victory will guarantee defeat. Oh, I like that
yeah,
quote.
yeah. So it's a good quote.
It's very, classic Star
He's a
Wars-esque.
good actor. Too bad we don't know anything about him. And that'd be very nice. Right. So it'd have been very nice to actually know who the hell this dude is and what his connection to anything is. But
That's
eh,
true, but at least for me, why I like
mhm,
him as a character,
mhm,
it's because his goals are not really clear, so he
okay.
seems more mysterious that way.
All right. I can see that.
Yeah, rather than just being like your typical bad guy. That's like, oh, evil, evil, evil. I kind
Yeah.
of like that part.
Mustache. He doesn't do the mustache twirling.
There
So
goes the
they go
samurai guy.
off. Right. And there's a like a
That's
bunch
why I
of
like, I'm really interested actually in this, Balin character
yeah.
'cause,
Be nice to
you don't really know what his motivations are, and it seems like he's kind
mhm,
of on the fence between, going full Sith or whatever.
mhm.
That's why I like him.
All right, so he sends Thrawn sends some extra troops after. No, dude, I agree with you. Everything that you said. He's a very
Yeah.
interesting character. He's not quite Sith. He's not quite Jedi.
Yeah.
But you know how Star Wars works. You know who cares about interesting male characters? But the thing is like you can show off his female apprentice as well. So we don't know anything about her either. And why she?
Yeah, we don't know anything about her, yeah.
Yeah. So all right. So they start off shooting at the RVs, like the crab RVs.
Yeah, right.
Right. So they are shooting at them. And for whatever reason, when they get close, keep in mind what their goal is to kill these people. Right.
Right. They're not moving very fast either.
So their goal is to kill everybody. They're shooting at them. They get close enough, and what do they stop doing? The
Oh,
closer they
shit.
get, then they stop shooting. I don't know why they stop shooting. It's like,
Oh my
and then one of them uses his spear to stick into the one of the dude's engines. Just
Yeah.
shoot it. It's like, why are you using the stick? Like, shoot the damn thing. Like, you don't care about these freaking floating RVs that seem to be impervious to blaster bolts. It's like,
They're really solid material.
right. So it's like they are non-combative folks who are simple yet have repulsor lifts on their floating RVs
It's and,
that are
and really good at
basically
RV.
bulletproof. Like, oh,
That's a that's a very good summary. Yes.
all right. So Ricky says that yeah, yeah, probably. Like he says last episode, like the Ahsoka Kestis Jedi will appear. I'm here's hoping. It's like,
Ears open.
dude, I have zero. I like at this point. So at this point, my head started hurting. Okay, it's actually started hurting now. So I'm like, I'm getting a headache because it's just the sheer amount of what the hell. It's like, dude, did anybody read this? It's like, did you read the script? Did you like? And like, okay. So one of the little crusty crab dudes ship gets. Oh, see, he's shooting. But is he shooting at this one or is he shooting at the one in front of him, like way in front of him? So Sabine is shooting back. He's hiding in terror because reasons. It's like he is a powerful. All right, imagine that this is Anakin Skywalker. All right, they only have one weapon, but he has the Force. What do? You basically turn around because you have shown that in the sequels, what's your boy? Ben Solo can stop blaster bolts with the Force.
All
Now,
right, yeah.
he may not be as strong as he was, but he could actually pick them off of their little doggy horse things, right? Want
Mhm.
to get close enough? Boom, knock them off. Want to knock that one off, pick him up in the air. Just show that he is a powerful practitioner of the force. But they don't do that. He just cowers like a little baby. And he is protected by the 90-pound Mandalorian next to him.
I I think they kinda showed that later though, didn't when they actually, like, did the battle with the
A little
apprentice?
bit, but it was like a little bit, but dude, he is
They showed
like
he's,
what he
like, very
says
adept at using the Force.
right, but he doesn't use it at all. It's like, well, this thing is moving super slow. He does it not have autopilot because you're going straight. It's not like you're dipping and diving and all that. It's going straight. You get to take your foot off is and have it float like straight
That is true.
as you show how powerful you are, right?
Yeah.
So this is Shin coming up, and notice they're looking at him. He's looking at them. He's not shooting them. It's like I guess they're too close. It's like we can't get that close because my
Reasons.
bullets don't like they. Yeah, they only go long distance. I don't have short range blaster bolts.
Uh,
Yay! So they stop, do the chuck wagon thing to surround themselves. All right, Ahsoka is being chased while maneuvering like this, but somehow these three dudes can't hit that. I it's like okay, it's like all right, whatever. So then she decides like I'm gonna go help them because she found out where the Krusty Krab folks are at, and they're in a circle. They're surrounded by the red dudes who, for whatever damn reason, are not shooting all of them. Like they don't have any explosives. Like they just have guns. I
that's
guess
it.
there's no explosive. No, we know that there are explosives in the Star Wars galaxy, but maybe in this galaxy they don't have explosives. They just have the same weapons that everybody else has for some reason in another galaxy. They don't have anything extra in this. Like, it's like okay, so she decides to climb out of her ship and jumps off with the ship doing what 300 miles an hour, 600 miles an hour, or whatever.
She'll just casually, jump off of
Like vault out.
there.
But this is what it like, and I keep saying about story wise how this is annoying. What they could have done, and just like what they could have done with Ezra, they could have just showed how powerful you having the Force is. She could have jumped out. She could have did something where she just instantly slowed herself down, and she drifts down to the ground. Right?
Mhm.
That would have been very cool if they would have did that. What would have stopped the people who are targeting her ship to not notice her jumping out like something just fell off, and the other ships don't even care that something just came out. They're like, screw it, I don't know, and like I'm just gonna fly on past, like whatever. And then she lands with barely a struggle, and he just happens to be right next to where she jumps out of the ship at. It's like,
I didn't think about that either. What out of all the places she decides to land.
dude, look, Sabine found Ezra 2 hours from where the hell like this giant star destroyer is. It's like, all right, whatever. It's, and we had that discussion about the coinky dink of everything. Like, it's like, all right, we're like, whatever. So he's sitting on his horse dog wolf slash whatever the hell this damn thing is. It's like, ha ha ha, we meet again. You can't defeat me. Like, I got my new white shit on. Yes, I can. And they start fighting. And then in the middle of all the fighting, no, you can't. But that later. So this is when Sabine offers him his lightsaber. He has not seen his lightsaber in 10 years. Right. This is he was taught that this is a very important thing to a Jedi. He finally gets the opportunity to get it back. And what does he say?
No thanks.
Yeah, I'm good. Like,
Even the blasters.
it's like what? I'm like, what? The force is my guide. And this is where it's crazy that he said that. So I'm like, wait, what? It's like, dude, like how I'm like, okay. So again, he about like, is he about to go straight up badass with this? Right. And they got 10 of these dudes, and no, he's doing his force food stuff, got his hands up.
Force.
Why they're not shooting him? Again, why aren't they shooting? Why you don't have a dude coming around the back and coming over here and shooting both of them in the back of the head? I guess they play by what the Queen's rules. It's like they're the redcoats. Like we fight you straight up front to front with all the honor, even though we're dirty samurai dudes who already ambushed you. We're just not gonna ambush you this time.
We'll let you do your force fu.
So I'm like, what the hell am I looking at? Like, it's like, all right, like whatever. So they start fighting. She's shooting. Like, all right, they're not shooting him. They're just gonna fight. Like, if you don't have a weapon, we're gonna fight you with no weapon. If you do have a weapon, then we're gonna
I'm gonna
kind of
fight
shoot
you.
at you. Screw the fact we have no idea what your capabilities are. It's like whatever. It's like we're gonna come up so you can
Mano
kick
y
us in
mano.
the yeah, it's mano y mano. We like Klingons. He's like, you're gonna come up and you're gonna kick me in the head. And when I see you kick my own boy in the head, do I shoot you at that point? No. I'm gonna come up and let you kick me in the head too, because I like whatever. So they're fighting. Now, she offered the lightsaber. She does not use the lightsaber until a little bit later in this fight. So he could have used the damn lightsaber, but like whatever. So they have another fight. Their fight basically is just like the last fight because apparently just because you go into some weird fever dream while you're floating underneath the ocean and fighting your former master and you somehow beat him, that does not help you in the real world. like, like okay, like all right, well, like whatever, man. So so they're gonna do a little fight. Okay, he got a weapon now. He's gonna shoot, and
It's more like
somehow,
dancing
yeah,
between Balin and Ahsoka.
right. It's he still overpowers her though. Uh, 6 point. Trying to see if he does he actually shoot? Because he got his gun out. My my dog is hold on. The dog just barks for no reason. I
It's
have no
fine.
idea why.
It's
No,
not
dude,
that bad.
bro. I have no idea why he does that. He just like he'll just start barking. We had like a mouse in the house. Like, oh, so you don't bark at the mouse, but
But you'll bark any other time.
you just bark at everything else. So they completely demolish all these people until Shin shows up. This is when having a lightsaber would have actually helped, given how he was actually trained properly and Sabine was not. So they go after each other. Sabine is just dismantling all these samurai dudes, samurai stand people dudes or whatever. So she just beating everybody's ass, and then she has to come and rescue. She comes in and she rescues
Shin.
Ezra. No, no, she rescues Ezra
No,
because
yeah.
he
Oh, I thought
chucks
you were
her.
talking about her
No,
right now.
no, because she chucks him over into like the side of a thing, and she about to stab him because that's what you do when you
Oh
want to kill
yeah,
somebody,
and he still refused to.
right? So she has to come save him because God help a man in this Star Wars universe. Yes, Ricky. Yes, they do look like turtles. They look like turtle slash crabs slash snails.
I, I like turtles.
Right. I'm sticking with Krusty Krab. But yes, they look like they do look like turtles. So I don't know if somebody just went out and saw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. Like, hey, I like Donatello. Make an entire species.
Based on him.
The Teenage Ninja Turtles in space, right? So like, okay, fine, like whatever. So they got her surrounded. He's about to kill her, blah blah blah. Wu Yang, Pu Yang, whatever his name is, is somehow still alive, outflying whoever these other dudes in the other ship is.
He's really good at that. He's a really good pilot.
Like, well, look, if you're he can do this as well as Ahsoka can. So, all right. So this what okay. He I can't see the spot, but he drops look it looks like flak on the ground or something. I don't know what happened because he flew on top of her. He flew on top and dropped something on the thing that distracted him long enough for her to hop on his thing and dip out.
I
Uh
know. That's a
does
really
he
good, like, flash bombers, whatever that was.
right.
Smoke grenade.
Like he has the force. So that shouldn't bother him, but like whatever. Does he chase her? No. He just looks at her and ponders like yeah, he just basically ponders.
He just kinda stands there menacingly.
Right. And then when he's finished pondering, he decides to walk off. Like, okay. Like, are we gonna find
That's kinda what I like about him, because his intentions and his goals are unclear, so I hope
Mhm.
more will be revealed about him.
That better be like a 2 hour, like it'd be like a movie length last episode.
About him.
All right. Yeah, because it's different. All right. It's different if they were in the same galaxy. All right. So maybe he can use the force to communicate with somebody else. He has a communicator on him. Like whatever. Thrawn is leaving in 3 days.
Mhm.
It's like that means the space ring thing is gone. You have no means to get back to your own galaxy, and he's pondering. Like, let's see. Am I gonna chase her? No, I'm not gonna chase her. I'm just gonna look at her drive off. So she goes off to finish up the fight. Then the stormtroopers or whatever the hell these things are called arrive. Now, the discussion online was whether or not these dudes are zombies. All right. Because apparently, like, this is like the Night Sisters
Oh,
stuff.
magic?
Magic. All right.
Mm,
And you had
I
a
I can see that.
yeah, so you had the
Yeah.
last dude who, when sliced open in the middle, when Ahsoka sliced him open, a bunch of green fart gas came out, and he just went and killed over. So I don't know. So that was the case right up until one of them got shot. Then he just went and died. Like, okay, so not a zombie. This is it. But there's way more of these ships than that dude. There was this many. They didn't look like there was this many damn of those little RVs.
I know.
And if this represents like the troops, how the hell all these dudes fit on that? It must have been that bitch like this. Like, okay. All right. So again, our non-fighting creatures. Two creatures who one of which has zero weapons. This is your one of your assets. So boom, Saran on this side, boom, Saran on that side. She sees that Saran backs out and they just shoot the shit out of everybody in the middle. Right?
Mhm.
You think that would be a good plan, right? You want to kill all you just want to kill all these people. Why you just don't have these dudes just drop a bomb or something on them?
Mhm.
Like whatever. So you don't you yeah, yeah, you kind of do, but apparently you don't because you have tie bombers. They can just keep them from leaving, and your tie bombers fly over. Everybody dead. That's I mean, if I'm trying to get rid of these guys, that's what I would have did. But I'm not the evil genius that Thrawn is.
They're
So so he's force pushing folks. He's doing the thing. She's doing her thing with the lightsaber. And not only she got the lightsaber, she got her flame stuff. They are completely surrounded by stormtroopers who should be shooting the shit out of them at this point.
And then they say, "Oh no, must follow must follow commands. I'll just
Right.
stop here."
Right. So it should be like a pew 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 pew. Again, you could do a scene where if they did that and he just went straight up badass, then that would have been awesome. She would have got shot the shit up because she's not a Jedi, but he could have protected her by using the Force because they already killed all 10 of these dudes. It's like, all right, okay.
But
So
what did Grand Admiral Thrawn suggest? Oh, we'll stop here.
yeah, it just kind of look at you. And the little turtle crusty crab dudes come out. It's like, oh shit, this the dog. Get a little comic relief because the dog rat, whatever this is, it's like did the whole, like a dog does, like "Ooh," and he went all Scooby Doo inside of the thing. All
Inside
right.
the RV.
Right. He went Scooby Doo in the RV. Completely shooting that you already had her captured,
Uh,
right? You already had her captured. I already knew where he was. What is the point of this? You should be shooting her in the back, shooting him in the back. Get this shit over with so we can go back and get the hell out of here. All right. So he's he got a little gut thing happening, but he's thinking big thoughts.
Sticking big picture things.
Yeah, it's big picture things. All right. So it's like, all right, I got them
So,
surrounded. I'm not gonna shoot anybody, but I got them surrounded.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like because I'm Thrawn and
And I'm cunning.
I'm cunning.
And I'm witty.
Yeah, and it's like I'm saying cunning stuff. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, can we just shoot these people and like dip out?
I know.
No, no, I have to pontificate and make you feel how smart I am. Like, dude, at some point, you don't have to be smart to just shoot people. You have them outnumbered. Even when the friggin' like Ahsoka shows up,
Yeah.
you still have them outnumbered. And all
Uh,
right. You have shown in during Order 66 is if you decide to shoot them in the back, Jedi die very easily. So it's
that's
like,
true. That's true.
right. So it's like, okay, this is established Star Wars lore. So it's like so he figures out that the guy I can't remember nobody's names that he's not there. So he's like, what's going on? Like, mm, like okay. He's like, you don't know who this person is. I don't know why you're relying on him to do whatever it is that you're trying to rely on him for when you don't know him. And he seemingly betrayed you somehow, but left his apprentice there. And it's like he's concerned and not concerned at the same time, which is kind of a weird place to be.
That's yeah, yeah, that's true.
So it's like, all right, well, so which one of you are? Is like, are you concerned about him not being there, or are you not concerned about him not being there? Because if you're not, you just have all of them just shoot the shit out of them, and then you just figure out what the hell's going on afterwards.
I think he is kind of both.
They still have to make it where how far they are from the ship and how long it would take them to get back. Again, this is she has the same look on her face as I had. Like, what the fuck are
That's a,
you doing?
that's a perfect screen capture. Hold on.
Right. So she's like, what? Like,
That's a
dude.
good screen cap.
He's like, no, everything's fine. I'm like, like
And then
everything you've been doing,
your face is her face right now.
pretty much. He's like, everything's fine. I'm like, what do you mean everything's fine? Everything you've been doing since I got here, you've been failing at. You release a beam for some stupid reason. Your pilot can't hit like the broadside of a barn. Somehow they now her track record with Ahsoka is not that great either, but like, bruh, you supposed to be like the man. I came all the way from another damn galaxy to get your ass, and everything that you're doing in
That's
front of me is you're failing at.
That's
So
true,
she
and
seemed to
then
be a bit concerned about that.
not a very good track record he
But he's like,
has.
everything's right,
It's fine.
everything is fine. Look, we've loaded whatever the hell these things are into.
Did they what is he buying time for?
I have no fucking idea.
Okay. I thought there was something that I missed in the earlier episodes.
No, remember how I said that the samurai dudes showed up with the two fallen Jedi. It's like, is there an episode in the middle where I miss how they got together? And like, so maybe in that missing episode that we didn't see, he explains what the hell this shit is. Maybe it's his luggage.
That's a
But,
luggage. Like,
all
oh,
right,
good, we can pack all our clothes.
what I'm thinking that these are those like the other like the guy who died and spewed out the farts. I'm thinking that that's what these are. Force wielding like creatures.
Uh,
Because one, what are they loading? You got a ship. It's like you should have all supplies. This doesn't look like supplies. And then why would you just show them? It's just did you have like multiple like storage spots of these? Or is this the only one? So only I can think of that these must be some kind of troops or something. That's the only I can think of. But he's like, well,
yeah.
my plan, like my plan failed again. Doesn't matter. We distracted them long enough that they won't interfere with our plans. I'm like, bro, if you would have killed them,
You would have all the time
if
that
you'd
you
have
need.
shot Sabine, boom, and shoot on the ship, and then went and blew up Ezra. Right, you would have blew up Ezra with the Krusty Krab turtle people in their floating RVs, and then when Ahsoka came out of hyperspace, you just would just blown her ass up. Then you would have no problem with nobody interfering.
With your plan.
But you, right? But you didn't do none of that shit. It's
Good
like,
point.
yeah. It's just like, yeah, I'm throwing, dude. I'm throwing, baby. You know how we roll. Oh, so after making all that nonsense about not taking his weapon back, he picks up a weapon to defend himself. It's like, what would have been very helpful? Having a fucking lightsaber at this point.
Uh,
So you can defend yourself. Because Sabine is covered in blaster proof armor that somehow they never shoot her in the feet or the head. It's just like the Mandalorian. He only gets shot in the chest. Damn. So it's like what the fuck, dude? At least in John Wick, when like at least in the last one that they made, right? They covered their head. It's like, all right, if I'm gonna believe that you have on bulletproof clothing, everybody got on bulletproof clothing, fine. They at least covered their head when they were being shot at,
Maybe headshots
right?
are bonus
She
points in
doesn't even
this
put her helmet on.
galaxy.
You have like blaster proof. I don't
Oh,
know.
that's
I was
true.
like,
That is
dude,
true.
at this point, yeah. So at this point, my head is like killing me. I'm like, because this is so stupid. And I think this is when they dip out. Yeah, they just dipped out. So at this point, if I can't even, this happens so quickly, I can't even get to it because it's. So he says everything is fine. Like she looks confused, and they got him dead to rights, and they just dip out. Right? It's like what the hell? Okay, so leave her all alone. Why she don't go get on the ship? I don't know. And they let her go for some reason. She tries to say, "I'm you can come on our side." She looks confused, and I'm like, "I'm confused too. I'm confused for you because your master left. It's like your master dipped out, and then now this happened, and then Thrawn just pulls the troop for no fucking reason, and you just
They
standing
left her out to dry. I feel bad for Shin.
here like, hmm?
I said they left her out to dry.
Right? So like, what the fuck? Like, dude, I just had an entire squad full of the samurai dudes who just got murdered by this 95-pound chick with a lightsaber she can barely use, and this dude with no weapons. I had 2 ships with a, 2 squadrons of whatever kind of weird special troops popped off, all armed. Nobody shoots you. They let you just roll up through them, and even when you basically throw some of their, homeboys to the side and killed some of them, they still don't shoot you. Like, "Alright, whatever." They have, like, a little, "Hey," like, "How you doing? I thought you were dead." "Nah, I'm not dead." Like, "You fell into the ocean." Like
I fell into the ocean. I can swim.
it's like, "Yeah, you was unconscious." "Ah." Like, what?
No biggie.
No biggie.
Uh,
Alright, then she goes, hit her with the smug look, got the smug look on her face. Because this is the new Ahsoka. The new Ahsoka gives this, it's like the old Ahsoka. She give you with the hit you with the smug look. I'm not gonna tell you shit, but I'm gonna hit you with the smug look, just like I gave Wu Yang when he asked me a simple question about what the fuck are we doing. I hit him with the
Same look.
same look. Hey,
The
it's all
Ahsoka
right, baby.
treatment.
You'll be okay. The same look on her face. Yep. So little hey, how you doing? I ain't seen you in 10 years. It's all it's great.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like,
eh,
oh yeah, I haven't seen you in 10 years. How you doing?
yeah, it's gonna be fine. How we get back since all the whales dipped out and that was our only means to get to this galaxy, it'll be fine. Yeah, we take the dog too. They'll take Scooby and then we're gonna leave these dudes with all these dead bodies around their houses. Are we gonna help them fix anything? Eh. Like whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Then the episode ends. Like, so at this point, I'm like, what the?
Okay.
I'm,
There
yeah.
were some things that I didn't catch on when I was watching
Mhm.
it that you did. Yeah, when they were greatly outnumbered and mostly unarmed. I didn't really see it like that, which is true.
Right. So yeah. So when it goes off, I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'm like, what the hell did I just watch? It's like Dave Filoni, you suck. Like written by Dave Filoni, dude, you suck. You're terrible. You have no idea how space works. You just everything is coincidence, quinky dink. It just kind of happens. It's like, okay, who the dudes in red are? I don't know. Why are they working with the fallen Jedi? I don't know. Uh, they all just died. It's like, okay, then what? It's like, it's crazy. All right. So, what is your final verdict on that lovely episode, and would you recommend it to anybody else?
I think for a penultimate episode, it's not very good, but I think in the overall series, it was decent.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really advance the story or provide any exposition,
Mm-hmm.
but it was you know, there's some things going on in there, like as far as like the characters that we actually care about.
Mm-hmm. All right. You, my friend, are describing what is a filler episode, which is the second to last episode of this series.
Yeah,
Okay, so we've been talking
I
about this
think
for like an hour, so we're gonna run through these last. Go ahead.
sure. Yeah, I think as I said, like for a
No, no, no.
penultimate episode, not really good, but for this
Yeah,
series, I think it's fine for what it for what it's worth.
yeah. That's not good, man. Okay, so to finish this off, like the heir to the empire is a Luke Skywalker story about Thrawn. It's about how they meet Thrawn. It's about all the characters that were created. to expand the universe that they have decided to give all of that to Ahsoka.
Luke
So
Skywalker is filled
Luke Skywalker's
by
role in the Star Wars Legends, I hate that they call it Ahsoka
I've never
Tano in
used
the canon timeline rather than Luke's canon counterpart. All right. So basically, this is an article about they're just stealing these parts. They can't write anything for Ahsoka,
Mhm.
but they're just taking the parts from Luke. Ahsoka takes the role of a
No,
wandering knight.
I see.
Yeah. hmm
Thanks for ex
Because Luke Skywalker,
thanks for summarizing that. I didn't really get the article.
Hmm?
I said thank you for
Yeah. So
summarizing that. I
essentially,
didn't
what
really
Luke at this
understand it.
point, oh, you were trying to read. Well, I
No,
mean,
like, just from
basically,
the
I mean,
headline, I didn't really understand it, but now I do.
oh, yeah, and it just like they're just taking the parts of like what Luke Skywalker is supposed to be doing, and they're having
Right.
her do it
The having her do it,
because
yeah,
he's like a wandering knight. Because he is trying, yeah, because he is trying to. Because there's a series of books that were written the like to build off his father's legacy, who died, but he died a Jedi, right? In the end. So Luke Skywalker is taking that and he is attempting to recreate the Jedi Order, but not in the way that the Jedi were, but how they probably used to be. When they had families and all of this stuff, and they had attachments. Like, and eventually, he figured out that part of the reason why they fell is because they weren't attached to the people who they were supposed to be protecting.
I
Right?
see. Okay.
Yeah. So he's going around looking for because they have Jedi have a tendency to take people when they're children, and once they get, as you could in the sequels, they have a lot of trepidation about taking Jedi once they get up past a certain point, because at that point they have established bonds with other people.
I see.
Yeah, so that's part of the reason why they like to take you as a child, because they want you to. I guess the way that you can look at it is like when you join the military, what they try to do is break you down and build you back up as a army foot soldier or a marine or a navy seaman, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's basically why he's wandering around. He eventually gets married, has a kid, and that kind of stuff. And he's doing missions for the Republic as well. So he's not just kind of like who know you don't really know what she's doing. She just kind of wandering around because she has no actual goal, I think.
Goal,
At least they
yeah.
have not established what she's actually her goal is. He had a goal. That's why he was wandering around. He was
Mhm.
also looking for like information on Jedi, like the stuff that kind of went by the wayside that wasn't destroyed. That kind of stuff, like books and the sacred Jedi text, as he says in the sequels.
Mm,
Yeah, Ahsoka prefers to redeem her enemies. Yeah.
okay.
Da-da-da-da, yeah. Oh, this is the one he redeemed Darth Vader, and that what made how he was in the sequels made no sense, because this person would have been deemed like his sister. Like Leo even told him that he's irredeemable. It's like, but I felt that there's good in him, and he
Mhm.
was right in the end. So that particular person wouldn't do what and that's part of what Mark Hamill's issue was, is the the Luke Skywalker, I don't know, would have done none of this stuff. He wouldn't have been hidden in some shacks on some mysterious planet someplace. So basically, they're just trying to make her into Luke Skywalker kind of thing,
Right, right.
right? As
Oh, okay.
seen as Anakin's legacy,
True, I can
which
kinda
is
see that.
like This is Dave Filoni all the way. This is Dave Filoni in modern in Lucasfilm all the way. Is they just It's weird. It's like the thing in like with comics, they got this weird thing where they think that they can just take the popularity of say Batman, like shove Bruce Wayne out of Batman and stick somebody else into that
Into Batman,
popularity and have it
yeah,
just continue.
right.
It's like, no, that's you can do that as much as you want. That's why like not many people watching this damn show. And part of it is because you can kind of see that you kind of do this stuff. It's like how is she her his legacy when he has children? He has children. One of which is high up in the Republic, and the other one is trying to rebuild the Jedi Order.
That's true. I
You are a
think, like,
creation of Dave Filoni who can
yeah, I think just the
go
fact
ahead.
that, he's training her,
Mhm.
right? And I guess she kinda sees him, doesn't he see her as like a, I guess, like a little sister figure? Or like,
Yeah, because I think technically
yeah.
they're not really that far apart in age.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, because he had just became a Jedi Knight, and she was just getting into her Padawan. It's like when you're little, the every year is a big thing in terms of where you're at in terms of you growing and whatnot. But like once you become an adult, it's like it's not that much of a deal. So it's like in these contact this tendency to bend, or they even said it in like Thrawn even says it in the thing in the show about how she will be unpredictable like her master. It's like, why would that be true? Because Obi-Wan is not like Qui-Gon Jinn, right? He wasn't.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, so there's like there are plenty of stories of Jedi where their Padawan is not really
Not like
like
their
the master.
apprentice. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that's they because they're their own person, so they will have their own viewpoint. There'd be certain things that their master taught them they would agree with. There are certain things their master
That
taught
they
them
won't
that they
agree
would
with.
not. Right.
Yeah.
So they would take that approach when they go and do their whole Jedi Knight thing. So this is a Dave Filoni thing. Dave Filoni and Lucasfilm, it's not going to work because
Where the
Ahsoka,
Jedi Knights learn.
yeah, this is again, yeah, this is Luke Skywalker. This is how Luke, basically, this is Legends Luke Skywalker. Because,
That is true. These are things like, it's a good list actually. I agree with it.
yeah, and it is basically just trying to shove her in
Into
because it's, dude,
what is the Star Wars Legends thing?
that is the expanded universe. So all the books that they wrote
Oh,
about, yeah. So when Kathleen Kennedy took over, she just
yeah.
basically shoved out like that's when she said that we don't have anything to pull from, and everybody like, what are you talking about? You got like 20 years of very
Mhm.
well written books,
Oh,
and
okay.
they are pulling from them.
Are those considered canon, or
Hmm?
is that
No,
considered are
they decanonize all of it, but they're still taking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why they call it legends. It's because like so they're treating it like that, like it's this other universe kind of thing.
Oh, I see.
But
Okay.
they're all, yeah, but they can't tell their own story, so they're picking and choosing stuff out of it.
Right. Oh,
And
okay.
because they're not
Okay.
very, yeah, and because they're not very good, they
Uh-huh.
don't do the stories correctly. So it's a lot of in name only stuff. So
I
there's a
see.
point where, all right, my nose is running. There's a point where Luke Skywalker goes to a planet where the entire planet is almost alive. I think it was alive, and it's in tune with the Force.
Mm,
So what he
mhm.
just like when he discovers with his at that point where there is no such thing as light side or dark side. It's all the Force. It is how you use the powers, kind of thing.
Mhm.
So he becomes balanced in the Force. So he can utilize because he decided to study the dark side. So he basically he learned how the dark side works, and I think Leia had to help him come back from that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's one of the stories. is
Okay.
he actually there was a clone of the Emperor. Somebody wrote a story where there was an actual clone of the Emperor, but not how they did it in Rise of Skywalker, but it was more like he had the abilities and he had certain knowledge, like he was taught certain knowledge, kind of like how they did the clones
Mhm.
for the prequels, where they weren't uh from they like they looked like him, but they weren't him. Just like Boba Fett was
Okay.
not. I forgot what the original was.
Yeah.
Uh, no, I forgot what his name was. But in terms of like, but they like Boba Fett is not him. Boba Fett is like that person. Like as a kid, like brought up, he's different. It's the same thing. But it's the Emperor, but he's different because he doesn't have the same life experiences, but he has all the knowledge, kind of thing. So he was younger, and he was and like Luke Skywalker became his apprentice, and all this whole thing.
Oh,
So
I
it was
see.
pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty interesting story. So yeah, and it's just like, yeah. So everything I'm just saying is just Luke, 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 Luke.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like she didn't confront Thrawn. And do you remember when I told you about the bodyguards that he has and how they were pretty cool, but they cannot tell that story because there is no way that she can do what Luke and Leia did because they're
Oh.
related to Darth Vader, and that was the reason. Yeah,
Oh.
you remember I told you about them, right?
Yeah.
No, you don't. Yeah, it's like, and because they were the children of Vader, that was the only way that she was able to get through to those people.
Oh, right, right,
Like
right.
they would
Yeah.
not give two shits about. Yeah, they wouldn't care about her like at
At
all. So they
all.
couldn't tell that
Yeah.
story. So there's like, yeah, not at all. And it was like a really cool thing that they can't do. Yeah, she's critical. Well, shit. So was he. So was Qui Gon Jinn. It's like, dude, okay, that's not anything new. All right. All the Jedi could have easily joined Luke's generation in Jedi New Canon, but likely does not due to it resembling its prequel era incarnation. But it doesn't. It's like that's not what he's doing.
I could see that too.
So it's like, so again, that's why I'm like, these a bunch of people who aren't very good writers who don't seem to understand, like they don't understand Thrawn. That's why he does stupid stuff. And it's like, yeah, this is just that's basically more evidence that yeah, broke the again, that's Luke Skywalker again. This is basically yeah, one such rule that Luke famously omitted in the Legends continuity is that of non-attachment. Because he realized that it was that what made the Jedi fall like it was is because of that. So it's just yeah, he's just basically just taking if this is what his issue like his plans are, yeah, he just taking everything about Luke and just taking it off of Luke and sticking it on Ahsoka.
Mhm.
So
Catherine
she
indeed.
continued.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, like what
That's a
the
spot
hell,
on
dude?
list.
Yeah. No, dude, pretty much. And it's like mm, crazy. But
That was a deep
oh,
exhale,
I was
Siobhan.
gonna do the other time.
That was a deep exhale.
No, how much is like how much of the extended universe did you read? You should check it out. It's actually pretty good. Because
Very
then you get
little.
into the
I didn't know that the Star Wars Legends things
right.
was the extended universe. I just know about it, but I didn't really
Yeah,
know
that's
much
what
of
it
the
is.
stories. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically you find like uh Han Solo marries Leia. They have three kids. Twins and like another boy named Anakin.
Mhm.
Anakin Solo is uh destined to be as powerful as the original Anakin is. He's just like him. He has like his mechanical skills in terms of like even as a little kid he could figure shit out. So he's just like his grandfather.
Oh.
So I thought it would like that's why I don't really get into like the further parts of the extended universe because you get a new crop of writers and it's kind of the same thing. They didn't know what to do with him.
Oh,
So
okay.
so they just
Yeah.
kinda killed him. They're like basically they had, Chew no, no, no. They had, Chewbacca got killed. They dropped a planet on Chewbacca, and then that bummed, Han out to the point where he kinda took it out on Anakin, and then Anakin did, like, a thing where he, he did a thing where it was kinda like a suicide mission, he wound up getting killed.
Oh, dang.
And it's like, no, it was a, interesting character that they didn't know what to do with.
Right.
And they were trying to do some shock value thing, because I remember when they first came on, it was like they was trying to kill somebody. It was gonna kill Luke. And George Lucas was like, "No." Like, "No, you're not killing Luke, dude." You're like, "What are you stupid?" So, yeah, they wound up killing Chewbacca and him. And at
Oh,
that point,
it's
I was like, "Dude, I'm out." Yeah, I'm
okay.
out. But alright,
So are these,
so
like, stories and characters and any other things besides these books? Like, do they appear in, like, video games or anything like that?
yeah, it's yeah, that's basically what like the original Star Wars books, like Star Wars games are. They all exist in
Oh.
that universe. Yeah, so
Oh,
all the
okay.
characters from those games are in
Are
in
in
that
there.
same universe, and they
Oh,
have
okay.
books written, and then you get like there's books about the underworld, there's books about the Huts, there's books about Boba Fett. There's you
Oh,
find
wow.
out about how like stories about Lando Calrissian, stories about how Han Solo tricked like beat Lando in a card game to get the Millennium Falcon, and it kept going back and forth between them because then they would like bet on it because
Mhm.
like and over the years like one would have it and then the other it would go back and forth.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then like the last time, because like the last time that Lando had it, they're they're older. He got kids. Lando got kids. Like this whole thing where like Leia is the next to the line to be the chancellor or whatever. And like Han Solo is he's been a general for a long time. He has his own ship, his own fleet. Uh yeah, and just like there's books on how they got Coruscant and how it was like a whole thing. Yeah, it just is a lot. It's a lot of stuff. And like the part of the reason they made like that movie Solo kind of like bad is Han Solo was an aristocrat. Like his family is in control of Corellia, like the planet. So
Oh,
he is a child of like he is a child of means. So he went to the academy for the empire because they were in the empire and that's what they did. So like the blood stripe, the red pants that he wears, that's an actual Carillion thing, and you have to earn it, like
oh,
some kind like in battle or something like that. So that's why he wears them. So they mean a lot.
cool, right.
Yeah, and they just it's like, "What's your name?" "I don't have a last name." It's like, "Imma call you Solo because you're by yourself." Yeah, it's like, stupid, dude. But especially to anybody who's read all of these stories, you should really check them out. But we been like this we had an hour and a half, so that's kinda all we're gonna talk about today. Like, no, dude, everything else is like, Gavin Newsom vetoing the thing, like the WGA back bill. It's like, whatever. Those folks are they're kinda screwed because they got rid of a lot of deals. Like, had a bunch of deals
Mhm.
with different folks. And because the strike went on past a certain point, it allowed them to I forgot exactly the word for it, but it allowed them to be able to get out of the deals. So the Rock lost his deal, J George R. Martin lost his deal, JR like a bunch of deals that they made that they didn't. Oh, force majeure. That's what it's called. And so they was able to get rid of out of a lot of deals. And they're
Oh,
gonna make less shows, they're gonna make less movies. So all these people protesting and marching around in circles or whatever, there's gonna be less jobs for them to go to.
oof.
It's sort of like the thing I'll tell you about when they raised the when they're gonna raise the minimum wage for fast food workers to $20. Like that's nice, but most of you are gonna probably be fired. They're gonna no, it just they're gonna go to automation. It's like I told you, the cost of that particular thing is a certain price, and then when you're like when the money that you're putting towards your labor is much lower than that, then the company is not gonna actually like pay for that. But when that cost of labor gets to is like getting kind of close, like once you go to the automation, you just got to worry about upkeep after that. Then you ain't got to pay nobody. So it make more sense monetarily for them to go in that route. And like okay, you can be happy now, but you're not gonna be happy in a few years.
True. With everything else going up too.
Yeah. So but just kind of how it is. So what do you got plans for the rest of the day, bro?
See, gonna eat dinner. I have
Mhm.
work tomorrow too.
Okay.
Get a
Well,
new schedule.
yeah. So did you finish your paperwork stuff?
I did finally.
Mm.
Yeah, I finished it before I went home yesterday.
All right. Your
Yeah,
boss was at work today. She was hanging stuff. So she did all the
calendars.
yeah. So
Yeah, for first day of the new month.
yep. All right. So I am gonna eat as well. Now the dog stopped barking and everybody stopped making noise in the house. So it was another fun conversation today. I was trying to I don't know how we're gonna do Ahsoka and Loki next week, especially if they need to have at least a 2-hour movie to wrap up all this crap that they're not explaining in anything. Because I still don't know who none of like they had some like somebody went online and said, "Who is Ezra Miller or Ezra not Ezra Miller, Ezra and well, I keep saying Miller, I don't know. But who is this guy and why should I care?" And they just jumped all over him. It's like, "How dare you?" I'm like, "He is a regular person who didn't watch those shows. He This show has not done anything to explain who the hell this dude is and why I should care. I know who he is and I don't care." So
That's
I
true.
don't know.
You don't feel any like not attachment to the character, but
Mm. Even when his friends who hadn't seen him in 10 years, they're like,
seems
"Hey,
like they
what's
barely cared.
yeah, like what's up, bro?" Uh, uh, uh.
So, little fist bump. Oh, good, you're here. You're still alive. Great. We just have to go across the galaxy to find you. Great.
Yeah, it's like, I'm like, all right, bro. All right. So to
Uh,
anyone who watches this afterwards, like and share, please
subscribe.
subscribe and share this with your friends so that we can get more and more people to check us out as we overly discuss TV shows.
That's
But
the
it
greatest show on the planet right now.
no, dude, but it is fun to hopefully like I didn't mind Loki. I know a lot of people did not like it. A lot of people liked it. I'm kind of in the I'm in not necessarily in the middle. I'm in the middle, kind of uh, a little above the middle. I got what the story that they were trying to tell, and I just watched it for the story that they were trying to tell, as opposed to trying to shove a bunch of other stuff into it and getting mad about that. That I'm like, this is what it is. I'm like, okay, I got this, I got that, I didn't like this, I don't like that. So hopefully this next episode will be good. So at least have one show that's
Better.
better. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, I am not watching the Acolyte. I do not care. The person who made it, uh, I don't like her. I saw some of the people who are in it at the Star Wars Celebration thing. N- All of them sound like assholes, so I'm good. If you want to
Oh,
watch
is
it,
that the one? Is that the one in London and then they were talking about it?
yes, with the Yes
Oh my
Queen
gosh.
and all, I'm like, dude, you're not making anybody want to watch this.
Ah, when
Not
is
at
that supposed
all.
to come out?
I don't care. I have no desire whatsoever. Just like I don't just like they got the Robin in the Hood show with the modern take on Robin Hood. Same thing. I have no desire to watch that. There's enough stuff in my life that pisses me off. I don't need to to waste my time on something like that.
Just you wait till Snow White and Bambi come out.
Oh, yeah. Dude. All right. We need to
Uh,
get up out of here. So
yeah.
like and subscribe. And we out. Okay, here we go. In